I read a Wall Street Journal article talking about the best performing alternative assets over the past couple decades. And at the top of that list was actually wine and whiskey, returning about 11%, 13% a year for those two asset classes respectively. And, like you, Brad, I'm also, a wine lover. So this was something to me that was really cool. It was something that could further my own education in the wine world, but then also be able to make a profit off of down the line, right? Buy a few cases of wine, sit on them for a few years, and then maybe sell off a few, drink a few, and be able to offset my cost basis, and drink some pretty nice wine down the way. Realize that it's very, very difficult to do that if you don't have resources already, right? You need a massive wine cellar. You need connections to the top wine brokers at the top wineries because these wines are highly allocated. And you need, a home insurance policy won't really cover and understand the value if you've got like $100,000 worth of wine in your fridge. So I realized that we could use technology to build a better solution and really decrease those barriers to entry. So an investor, pretty much any investor could be able to get exposure to what I thought was a really quality and proven asset class that really only the ultra wealthy or ultra sort of niche wine lovers could have invested into until this date.
Yeah, because basically you would have had to have gone to one of these super high-end auctions. Like who are the common wine auction houses? The ones that you have to go
Zachys, Christie's, Sotheby's, Acker, right? Those are all the big ones that do hundreds of millions of dollars in volume every single year off of their auction sales on wine and whiskey.
Yeah, so if you look, I mean, there's a huge wine collector here in Kansas, the Koch brothers, and I remember, in fact, now's a good time to just bring it up. There was a documentary that I watched back in the day. I believe it was called Sour Grapes.
Yep.
And I believe Rudy was the infamous guy. But basically, which is one of the other problems you all solve with VinoVest, but basically very, very high-end wine, like the sort of wine that costs tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars per case. And this gentleman kind of smoothed his way into these auction houses, started buying up very high-end wine, but then basically draining it, mixing his own version of it, rebottling it, and basically had counterfeit wine that he was reselling at auction. And this became like a really, really big thing, right? Like, I don't know if there's more context you want to share, but it's a crazy story.
Yeah, I think I remember some stat. It was like over the course of maybe 10, 15 years, he had defrauded over $100 million worth of fake wine. And amongst that, right, the Koch brothers, other really, really well-known people, even Robert Parker, the wine critic, he got. So
wow.
Even top palates and taste buds, right? Like this guy, Rudy, like obviously he was a crook, but he also had talent in his sort of mixing, right? And that's why he was able to get away with what he did for so long. But what it did to the wine industry was it created a lot of distrust, rightfully, right, on the condition and, what we call the authenticity and provenance of those bottles. So that's another huge issue that VinoVest is fixing, is being able to guarantee the authenticity, being able to work with reputable third-party insurance companies and custody providers to be able to trace that lineage of the wine. And everybody on VinoVest, they have their certificates that can show, hey, this is exactly where the wine is. Here's who we bought it from, right? And be able to know that, which when you do end up eventually exiting and selling it, the auction houses are going to want that proof, or the eventual buyer is going to want that proof to know that what they're buying is real.